Hi everyone, can you hear me? So I know I have the shortest profile, but trust me, this was a task. I talk too much and usually I write a lot, and I thought, today what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure I deliver the shortest profile for Techpoint Inspired 2019. We're going to be talking about Fuel Your Hustle. My name is Tolulope Akinyele, and I am the agency program manager for Google West Africa. Before I go on talking about myself, I actually want to know about majority of you, because this is about you, and our job here is to inspire you and leave you with something to take to make your lives better. So I know Shani kind of did like gauging the room, and I'm just going to do it again because we have different sectors of people, and it'll be nice for us to make sure I know you when I'm talking to you. So I'll be like, oh, I know you're a student. This is for you, kind of thing. So how many of us here are students? Again. And how many of us are in the workplace? And how many of us have a hustle of some sort? So side hustle, your job is your main hustle. Not a lot of us. Are we shy? No. We should own it because it's good, it shows entrepreneurship, and who knows, in the future, might be hiring and helping, the economy. So I'll talk about myself. My name is Tolulope Akinyele, and I'm an agency partner lead for Google. In my day-to-day, my job is to work with agencies. So these will be digital agencies, and I kind of like enable agencies to grow businesses. That's my job across Africa. I'm super excited to be here today. And growing up in Nigeria, as we know, having a telephone back in the day was actually such a big deal. In fact, you almost had to make sure you had connectivity, and you had to be privileged to actually have a mobile phone or even like a landline. How many of us remember those days? Am I like the oldest person in the room? No? But now, as we can see, speaking about the future of work, how many of us actually make calls like over the internet? Now. How many of us made calls over the internet in the last 24 hours? So it's fair to say that maybe 90% of us. Great. The internet has made life much easier, and has also helped a lot of people to grow their skill, their career, and their businesses. Today, we're going to be talking about the products and platforms and things Google is actually doing to enable life is easy for you using the internet. Next slide. So, currently, well, in 2000, about 361 million people were online. Now we see that in 2019, 4 billion people are online. What does this say to us? Let this be interactive. Talk to me. What does this say to us? Growth. And it shows that it is inevitable. And it shows that almost we can say audaciously, like, the future is internet. So what are you doing to make sure that in the future, a decade from now or 2 decades from now, you have a chance? What are you doing to upskill yourself to make sure that with the resources you have, limited, as Shani has pointed out to us, in Nigeria, we have a lot of limited resources, but using the internet, what are we doing to make sure that we're able to give ourselves a chance, either in our education or in our businesses or even self-development? Next slide. If we hone this in Africa is connected with about 29% of the internet population in Africa alone, and 500 million will be estimated in 2020. 90% of Africa's internet users use the mobile phone. How many of us had our first interaction with the internet via our mobile phones? Not many of us. How many of us went on the internet the first time through a mobile phone? Internet cafes? Yes, it was mostly internet cafes. Okay, now let's bring this in. How many of us use our mobile phone to search? Now, like, oh, I need to find something out, right? So is it fair for me to say that we're a mobile-first economy or we're a mobile-first country? Would you agree with me? So are we collectively saying that we're a mobile-first country? Great. And on social media, 14%. I'm sure everybody here has a social media of some sort. If you don't have any form of social media, raise your hand. In fact, you may even get a gift, because that will mean you're one in like a million. How many of us don't have any form of social media? See? Social media is fast growing. We're using social media as a form to interact with our friends, to learn more, to connect to opportunities, job seekers. We have platforms where you can actually find potential jobs. You can send in your CV, you can ask for advice. So it's safe to say that social media is actually, growing. And then it's safe for all of us to say that social media is also growing in Nigeria, right? Right? Cool. Next slide. So I'm going to play us a short video, and this is for the students. Yes, oh, sorry. Unemployment in Nigeria is 22 million. What does this mean for you? What does this mean for me? It means that we have to actually start finding ways to make sure we can empower ourselves. What are the things we can do by ourselves? And even if we wanted to go into the job force, what are the things we can do to give ourselves a fighting chance? If we have to write a CV and we don't have any form of mentor to actually talk to us about writing a CV or show us what are the things we can do, or where can we go to on the internet to find resources on how to write a CV. If you're looking for, etiquette and decorum in the workplace, what are the sources you can go to on the internet to find this? That's what we're talking about, fueling your hustle, the ways we can actually help you, despite the limitations, things you can actually do to fuel your hustle, to give yourself a chance, and for us to create equal opportunity around the world. So the next slide is then going to be a video.
My name is Adekoya Oluwaseun Abiodun, a first-class graduate of mechanical engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Being a first-class graduate, I will attribute a larger percentage of my academic success to Google. This is because I was able to go online using my course outlines to gain foreknowledge and a wide horizon about the courses to be offered a particular semester. During the course of my finals, we were working on design of a reconfigurable leather cutting machine. It was a success, but then the lecturer came in and told us to see a way of simulating the system using Arduino programming. All we had to do was go on Google and type in steps involved in making use of Arduino programming. We were able to achieve our desired results. For students that want to excel academically like me, you don't have to rely on your textbooks or be complacent with whatever you're being taught in class. Go on Google, type in your questions and your queries, and get answers to your mind-boggling problems.
How many of us resonate with Oluwaseun? Or how many of us are Oluwaseun? How many of us use the internet to help with our schoolwork? How many of us have done digital skills training of any sort? Some form of, I don't know, whatever bodies you do it with, but you've actually done some form of digital training. How many of us, let me think, something that maybe most of you will not have done. How many of us have gotten a job via the internet? Wow. How many of us have grown our businesses? So even if it's your little hustle or a big hustle or a service hustle, how many of us have used the internet to grow this? So it's safe to say that all of us can resonate with Oluwaseun in some form of capacity, right? So it's safe to say that, again, the future of work is the internet. Are we all in agreement? We're doing this together. This is a joint thing. Yes? Cool. So students like Oluwaseun were actually able to get ahead in class by doing more with the web. Job seekers can actually get information and write their stellar CV. How many of us have actually learned how to write our CV through the internet? How many of us have Googled of some sort interview tips, questions and answers? The one I always used to Google was, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Because you want to make sure your strengths are your strengths and your weaknesses are weaknesses, but they can still be strengths in a way, kind of, right? So it's also safe for us to say that if you are a business, the internet is actually a good way for you to communicate with your customers by looking for them. And I'm sure most of us that have businesses, we know that majority of the time when people access our businesses, they use their mobile phones. Is this safe for all of us to agree on? Cool. So people around the world are looking for information every day, and there are 3.5 billion searches made a day. What does this say to you? Whether you're fueling your hustle in education or whether you're fueling your hustle in business, it shows that there are people online looking for potentially you. And with us, so something I say, because working with agencies, that the internet, see the internet as a business, and you always want to make sure that your business is open. But as opposed to having a physical store, you have an internet store that's open 24/7. What does that mean to you? It means that for you, if you're looking for a job, you have a profile where anyone searching for anything related to you, you're there. You're clean, you're sharp, you're present. It also means that if you're a service provider or you provide goods, and someone is looking for something you serve, you're there as well, right? So over the next couple of slides, we're going to be talking about how you can actually promote yourself if you are a service provider, and how you can promote yourself through education. So at Google, our number one goal is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful to everyone. Next slide. So, who remembers the old, search on your phone? Who remembers this? Come on, I'm not the only dinosaur here. I know we're a number. Who remembers this? And who noticed there was a difference? Who noticed there was a difference, or are you just noticing there was a difference? Did you notice there was a difference? When did you notice this difference? Let's see. Pardon? Change, yeah. So there's a lot going on in the world, as you know, and it's important for us to shape the way we communicate with people. We want to be efficient. We want to make sure we're relevant. So what did this mean? When we first started 20 years ago, we had a number of blue links. So if you had searched, what will happen is you most likely have to scroll to find what was most important to you, especially when it came to studies. Now, I can relate. When I was in university, you're looking for research papers and you're trying to, the word is not cheat, you're just trying to inform yourself. And then you see all these blue links, and you literally will go from page to page, clicking and clicking in hopes to find the gem that's going to make your work spectacular. Who remembers this day? Yeah? Who doesn't? Who remembers? Cool. So it's safe for us to say that change helps, because now once you search, what you see is you see a knowledge panel. You're actually able to interact with it. Say, for example, with Avengers, right? Imagine if you wanted to go and see the Avengers Endgame. You search for this, then you see the cast, you see the crew, you see reviews, you can watch a short trailer. So we kind of bring to you things that potentially you have to scroll through, and we make it easier for you. We then added, hang on a minute, how about we actually make Google a friend of yours? And then we have Google Assistant. Most people want to interact with the internet the way they interact with their friends. What does this mean? Next slide. This means that if, for example, I want to say, go to or find out what photosynthesis or something means, I just ask my phone, However, we are in a fortunate situation where we actually have the internet. There are people that don't have internet connection as strong as we do. So how do we make sure Emeka that is in Enugu, but not really in Enugu, but in the remote parts of Enugu, how do we make sure that he has as much as an equal opportunity with Jide in Ikeja? We're thinking about not just the people that are connected online, but the people that are actually going to come online. And so we have Google Go. How many of us have used Google Go before? We have? How many of us? Will somebody, just to make this interactive, will somebody tell me the difference between the main Google and Google Go? Are you happy to? Yeah. It's lighter and it consumes less of your data, right? So what does this mean? It means that everybody can actually access the internet. So say, for example, if you're searching for something on the normal Google, the Google search page, that would take 100 MB. On your Google Go, it takes 40 MB. What does this mean? It means that everyone has a chance. So you're not limited by data or connectivity. It means that everyone is able to actually come online via the normal experiences or via Google Go. Next slide. So most probably all of us know how search works. Who doesn't know how search works? That is what I should be asking. Who doesn't know how search works? So it's safe to say that we all know how search works, right? You can easily get answers when you're stuck. So whenever you're looking for something as technical as AR core, or as very simple as photosynthesis, that I've said the second time, I hope I know what it means if someone asks me. We normally would recommend starting your questions and phrases. So, what is photosynthesis, for example? Or who is Tolulope Akinyele, for example? Or how does driving a car work, right? So with us, Google is your friend. So the way you ask your questions to your friend or your colleague is the way we actually would like you to ask questions to Google, because it means that we're able to give you, rounding up, it means we're able to give you relevant information quickly. It's easy for us to scrub the web, and it's easy for us to deliver to you what you need. Sorry, I'm being rushed. The last slide is going to be getting your businesses online. How many of us have Google My Business? How many of us had businesses when we did the first, what would I call it? Tell me what you are, or tell me what you're interested in. How many of us? So how many of us have businesses? How many of us have Google My Business? How many of us have Google My? How many of us have businesses but we don't have Google My Business? Okay, so this is something for you. And whether you're a business or whether your business is your main hustle or your side hustle, the ultimate goal is for you to find as many customers as you can. There's no point of a business without customers, right? So at Google, we have Google My Business, and this allows you to list your business on search. So that will mean, say, for example, if Tolu wanted to eat, and I said, best places to find breakfast in Lagos, I will be able to see you if you're on Google Business on search, and also a map directing me to where you are. This is an opportunity for you, because not everybody has the opportunity to build a website. Excuse me. Not everybody has the opportunity to, publicly list their businesses. However, with Google My Business, you're actually able to make sure your store is open 24/7. Also, we have insights, so people can search for you, they can engage with you. What does that mean? Hi, are you open now? Yes, I am, because you have comments. Or I bought your product, I have a problem. Oh, we're sorry about that. Please, can you bring it to our nearest service center? So this is something that actually makes communicating with your customers easier for you. Then we move to insights. There's no point of a business without insights. Everyone has a business, and they need to know who is coming to their website, what are they doing, and how are they doing it. And yes, so Google My Business, google.com/my business. Guys, say I'm rushing. I'm like, hence why I had the short profile. I talk too much. So overall, our goal is to ensure you and keep you connected. We have stands at the back, so you can ask more questions. I'm going to be here as well, so you can ask more questions. And thank you, and I'm very delighted for you guys having me here with you today.